Imagine that if in a single second, the moon, our eternal silent guardian, suddenly transformed into a gargantuan sphere of cheese. This wouldn't be a dream come true for foodies. It would be the opening chapter of the most bizarre and inevitable apocalypse in human history. We have spent millennia romanticizing that pale lantern in the sky, but if it were to become a ball of cheddar, the laws of physics would treat it with zero mercy. It would all start with the moon instantly losing weight. The moon's current density is roughly 3,340 kilograms per cubic meter, composed of silicate rock and an iron core. Cheese, even a dense variety like Parmesan, averages only 1,000 kilograms per cubic meter. In the unforgiving theater of celestial mechanics, mass is the only currency that matters. Because the moon's density would drop by nearly 70%, its gravitational grip on the Earth would weaken so drastically that the delicate orbital dance we've performed for eons would shatter. Like a dog snapping an invisible leash, our satellite would begin to drift away into the dark void of deep space, growing smaller and dimmer with every passing night, leaving Earth behind like a forgotten toy. On Earth, the consequences would be immediate and violent. The oceans, which have pulsed to the rhythm of lunar gravity since the dawn of time, would effectively break. The towering tides that oxygenate our seas and drive nutrient cycles would collapse into weak, chaotic ripples. This wouldn't just be a problem for surfers, it would be a death sentence for marine ecosystems. Coastal cities built on the predictable rise and fall of the sea would see their harbors turn into stagnant marshes or dry up entirely. But as the oceans died, the true horror would be unfolding above our heads. Imagine the lunar surface suddenly becoming organic. In the cold vacuum of space, cheese is a volatile substance. Without atmospheric pressure to hold it together, the moisture and oils trapped inside the cheese would instantly reach their boiling point. The lunar surface would not be a static yellow ball. It would become a churning, bubbling cauldron. Imagine craters the size of cities exploding into geysers of milky vapor and boiling whey, spewing pillars of organic mist thousands of miles into the void. Without an atmosphere to shield it, solar radiation would begin to deep fry the side facing the sun. The proteins would denature, the sugars would caramelize, and then char into a radioactive, blackened crust of carbon. And what about the smell? While space is a vacuum and cannot carry scent, the moon would now be surrounded by an exosphere of evaporating lipids and amino acids. As Earth's orbit intersects with this expanding cloud of lunar debris, our upper atmosphere would begin to catch these particles. As they burn up in our thermosphere, the night sky wouldn't be black. It would glow with a sickly, bruised amber hue. High-altitude sensors would detect a concentration of butyric acid, the smell of rancid butter, permeating the very edge of our world. We wouldn't just see the apocalypse, we would breathe its decay. Ultimately, the tragedy would be one of instability. The moon acts as a gravitational stabilizer for Earth's axial tilt. Without that heavy, rocky anchor, Earth would begin to wobble like a dying top. Over the coming centuries, the North Pole could shift toward the equator, then back again. Seasons would vanish or become extreme beyond survival. We would look up at the receding, shriveled piece of cosmic cheddar, now a desiccated, frozen husk of its former self, and realize the fairy tale was a nightmare. Our planet would be left alone in the dark, and for generations to come, the very air would carry the faint, lingering scent of the greatest gastronomic disaster in the universe.